And we are live, TJ. How you feeling today?
I'm all right, man. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties. Still going through them right now. Man, this vertical one is very strange. I don't know if I like it. It's weird to get used to staring at it.
It honestly the visual isn't as striking as the sound. You sound a little fishbowly, but
I bet it sounds awful, doesn't it? I bet it sounds terrible. Yeah, as I using a
sorry
phone.
sorry to our viewers once again. We are not professionals at StreamYard and are learning this as we go along.
Can't even blame StreamYard on this one. It's just me. I got up here at like 6:28, I think, and my computer was fucked up, and I had to restart it. And man, forget how long these things take to restart. And so it started, it's running, but the apps are opening up and everything, so it might be a few minutes before I can get on stuff regular shit here. But yeah, yeah. How you been, man?
I've been terrible, TJ. I
Oh
was
no.
sick all weekend. Ate some bad meat, and don't do that. Is my suggestion for any of our viewers out there. It's not a pleasant experience.
Trichinosis, salmonella, ain't food poisoning, nothing to fuck with.
No, I don't know what
Bad time.
exactly it was, but it was unpleasant. Honestly, like even if we had tried to do this yesterday, I might have had to drop out. But I'm feeling better today, so we will soldier on.
That's
This
right.
is a hard job, but someone's got to do it, TJ.
That's right. Mama didn't raise no bitch. We gotta do this stuff here. So I'm on the phone here, so I can't pull up my clips, and I'll have to. Hopefully, I'll get my stuff running today. But did you see that interview Trump did with Lex Friedman?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch. There's a lot of clips I saw.
Yeah, the clip I was referencing in the title of the episode, where Lex Friedman is addressing something that happened a couple months back. I think we covered it when Trump was on a Fox News show and they asked him, "Hey, would you release the all the Epstein files if you were elected back to the White House?" And he kind of took a pause and he said, "Well, some of them, but you got to be tricky with that stuff because there's a lot of lies in there and it seemed really suspicious." And so Friedman asked him, "Hey, you kind of hedged on that. What do you think about the whole Epstein thing and releasing the information?" And Trump said, "Well, a lot of people, a whole lot of people went to that Epstein Island. Fortunately, I never did," which sounded very suspicious. It sounded very suspicious that he said, "Fortunately, I never went to the island." But then he said, "Yeah, with the Epstein stuff, I think I could release all that stuff. I could do it." And then he pivoted immediately to JFK. So just seemed a little sus with Donald Trump there. I don't know why. He definitely gets very, very antsy when people bring up the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
It is so. If this were just a normal person who I didn't know about, I would be very willing to give them the benefit of the doubt and be like, "Hey, this is an uncomfortable topic. They're changing the subject. What? That's not necessarily some smoking gun." But Donald Trump loves to pontificate about any chance he gets to attack other people for potential allegations of child diddling or anything of the like. He doesn't hesitate to
Nope.
broach those waters. And it is very telling just how clearly, and this isn't the first time he's done this,
No.
he has done this repeatedly where he very quickly changes the subject anytime that comes up. Like, I don't know if Trump partook in anything. I don't know for a fact that he knew anything was going on, but there's so much smoke there that it clearly makes him uncomfortable. I, there was a reason he didn't release the documents when he was president, TJ. Like, it's not, this isn't some crazy thing. And yeah, you could say the same thing. Biden hasn't either, but Biden ain't my guy, never has been. It's I will also criticize him for that. But there's one group of people who are like repeatedly calling for this more so than the other,
Yeah.
and it's the people voting for Donald Trump. And it's weird how they don't seem to ding him for this one.
Well, also, I didn't see Joe Biden's name once in any of Jeffrey Epstein's files, any of his black book. Donald Trump appeared multiple times.
Mhm.
And I can't think of one picture of Joe Biden hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. I can't think of one time when Joe Biden said, "Man, that Jeffrey Epstein's a great guy. He's fantastic. He likes his women on the younger side, which is a little bit odd, but I don't think of any times when Joe Biden's been partying with Jeffrey Epstein. So just on suspicion alone, Trump has him beat. Also, I was going to say the newest person to endorse Donald Trump is actually the second newest. Tulsi Gabbard just endorsed him a few days ago. But right before that, RFK endorsed Donald Trump as well. Also friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you remember that video clip where he talks about how, yeah, I hung out with Jeffrey all the time, just like I hung out with Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein? It's like, Trump seems to surround himself with some very, interesting people.
The Eye of Sauron? Yeah, no, we go way back.
yeah, some odd shit. I don't know. That's may want to think twice about that. Oh, go ahead.
It does beg the question, TJ. Why hasn't Kamala come out with a full-throated, I will release all of the names associated with Jeffrey Epstein? Because just chronologically speaking, I'm pretty darn sure she ain't one of them.
Yeah.
So, just do it. Sure, it's going to burn a lot of people in your party, but who gives a shit? The political damages aren't going to affect you. Mm-hmm. Just do it and put him on the back foot there and force him to make a full-throated statement. It's not that hard, TJ, and it's very concerning that she hasn't done it. And I'm sure it's because there are people that are important to her that are on the list, but just do it. Fuck it. You can't lose that problem.
You can't. And listen, anyone who you would lose deserves it. First off,
that's a great point, TJ.
Yeah, they deserve it. Fuck them. And second, it would definitely raise your popularity. Honestly, it'd raise your popularity if she not only said she'd do it, but actually did it. Because Trump's not going to do it. Trump said he released the JFK files and everything too. He didn't do that. But if Kamala actually did it, I don't see how that could hurt her. That's a good. I've always been using it as, hey, there's only one person in this race who, as far as I know, had nothing at all to do with Jeffrey Epstein, and that's the person I'm going with. How about you? And then force them to say it. But I do like that approach that there's no way it can't hurt her.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. This is one of, honestly, TJ, the most mind-boggling. Why doesn't this happens out there? Because I just can't imagine how powerful the list is for it to negate the massive political gain there is from publicizing it. Just exponent. It's just pure upside. And plus, on top of that, you also do a good thing, which is you have a rare chance to do in American politics. and everyone across the aisle would be on your side. Every single person of the normal, normie populace is going to be on your side. Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. You'll lose some machine parts, but those machine parts will be replaced because those machine parts will lose all of their power because they were implicated. That's the thing that blows my mind, TJ, is that once it is public, all of the people who have power to prevent it from being public lose all of their power. It is toxic as shit, and you will have no political influence. So just how fucking powerful are the people on that list that they would still have a threat after it is already released?
Yeah, then we might be going into deep conspiratorial, House of Cards territory. With your life, I mean, if there would be something that people would kill over, it would be something like that to keep that information from going out.
But kill the president?
Well, I mean, they're not doing it, right? I don't know. See, listen. I've thought about this for a while, not necessarily with presidents. I guess presidents too. But
Joe Biden is shockingly still alive.
It's it's that. So when you see stuff if you ever look at Kirsten Sinema with her political record before she became a senator, it was nothing like this. She wasn't, as far as I knew, she wasn't anything like this. Even if she was just a standard liberal, she's just been a thorn in the side for the Democrats for 4 years now or something.
Yeah.
And nothing made sense to me as far as what his motivations were. Because generally, when someone's like this, that they're trying to eye for a lobbying position where you can get 1,000 times more money than you would make being a senator. But lobbying only works if your party members like you and they keep connections with you. She's burned all those bridges. So lobbying's out the door. And I mean, some corporate position, she could have got that without doing this. So I don't know what's motivating her. I thought maybe they're black. Once again, not throwing conspiracy out there, but that would make sense to me that someone has something on her. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, sorry, you got to vote this way, whether you like it or not. I don't know. Not saying that's what's going on, but I do wonder that sometimes.
Yeah, it's I will never understand how like the levers of power are so exposed and yet they're never truly pulled by the good people. You know, TJ, like it's really concerning. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but there's got to be examples. Like there I would say it's more likely than not that there are examples of people who otherwise would have done some very good things being blackmailed or worse into not doing them
Mhm.
because we know that happens in other countries. Like undisputable fact, we know we've done that in other countries. So I
Yeah.
don't think it is all that far fetched to speculate that we may have done that in America a couple times.
Yeah, yeah, not beyond the stretch of imagination. And like you said, it happens other places. It definitely has to happen here. Now, to the extent that it does, I don't know. Also, we might just be coping here that people just aren't good. Just like to get honestly to reach that level of power, you need a deep-seated narcissism that's hard to describe. So. I don't know, like Joe Manchin, for example. I'm sure that he just obstructs for the love of the game. The guy just loves it. Like the guy really likes being the most powerful person in the Senate because he essentially makes all the decisions. Nothing happens in the Democratic Party without his approval. That's worth something. And I don't know, that makes sentiments weirder then because someone already has that spot. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on, but I
Who
like that you threw
knows?
the Elon Musk concerning thing. Concerning, looking into it.
Kristen Semino, if you want to clear the air, feel free. Just reach out, the leftwingpod at gmail.com.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up.
How many years does she have left? Like 2 years, I think, in her seat. Or no, it's this year. It's this year, right?
I
Because
think
she's
it's
running
this
against
year, yeah.
Gallego. Yeah, that's it. She's gonna have a job pretty soon. Like, yeah, come on the show, Kirsten. We just want to talk. We just want to talk.
We just want to chat.
It won't be
Speak,
antagonistic.
Speaking of someone who just want to talk, TJ, Ben is asking us, did you watch the Minecraft movie trailer?
I
Not
didn't
the
know there.
question I was expecting to answer today, but have you, TJ?
I didn't know there was a Minecraft trailer out.
Same. So Ben, I'm so sorry, but we are not Gen Z and do not do not know the
Yeah,
Minecraft trailer is.
is it animated or live action? I wonder.
I don't know. I did
Hmm.
know there was a Minecraft movie being made, but
Yeah, me neither.
that is about as much as I possibly know about it.
Huh? Are you
It's
watch it later? Thank. Or we will. We will.
okay. We will. Okay, Ben says live action. Good. Ben, we you know we love nothing more. All we want to do is stop being political commentators and start just doing pop culture shit. But unfortunately, no. We got a pop culture question, TJ, and we are total swing and a miss.
Sorry. Yeah. Are you a Minecraft fan, John? Do you like the game?
I am a Minecraft appreciator. Like I love the concept. I think it's like an awesome game. But the problem I have is that it became popular during a time when I just like refused to like go online to look things up to help myself in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And that just didn't jive with Minecraft and making it a fun playable game.
Hmm.
And I also get lost easily. And so I
Oh.
would just die and then get lost and then get frustrated, lose all my shit, and stop playing. So I know that that's not. I'm pretty sure that's not how the game works anymore. And it's a lot more accessible and easy if you want it to be. But back when I originally played it, before it was a full release game, yeah, that was the situation. So I never really got stuck on it. But my college roommate did like he became an architect, or no, not an architect. He became like a construction manager. He used to like play Minecraft and just build like identical replicas of stadiums, and I thought it was the coolest shit ever that you could just do that in the game. So like I think as far as games are concerned, it's probably one of the best for our kids to be playing. Teaches a lot of Lego like skills. But no, I never really played it too much myself.
That's I do like, man, I do admire people who can build like giant things on there, really complex shit. I saw this thing where a guy built a model of the visible universe on Minecraft. It had black holes and everything. It was
I
incredible.
believe it.
Yeah, it was amazing. Now, Minecraft is a game that I played for the first time a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I never wanted. My girlfriend at the time, she said she loved it. She loved playing Minecraft, and she asked me if I wanted to. I was like, I don't know. I don't really see like how do you win the game. And she said, well, you don't win. You kind of just, build. Like, there is a way to win by beating some dragon. Most people just build. I was like, that sounds boring as hell. Why would I want to play a game that you can't win? And then I started playing. It's not bad. It was actually pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with it. You haven't played it in a long time, so I don't know. Maybe the version I got was a little bit smoother, but it was fun just like experimenting with stuff, because I remember like you can make stuff in like ovens and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, I wonder if I burn the sand, will it become glass? It did. I was like, this is great. And so it was just fun experimenting with it. So I don't play it often. I haven't played it in a very long time, but the game was pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. It's always a game where I'm just like, I see it on like sale or something. I'm like, oh, what if I just? But I'm never gonna play it. That's my thing. Ben says he needs to find a pop culture live stream with 3 viewers to talk to. Well,
we got you.
TJ, do we have a pop culture thing to talk about? Is there been any like political tie-in pop culture recently?
I don't know if it's anything recent. I'm trying to think. I like that Kamala Harris has adapted like the brat thing from Charlie XCX. I keep like brat culture. Mm-hmm. I don't know any big pop culture news going on right now. Ben Affleck is divorcing J-Lo again, I think I saw that.
Time is a flat circle.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure J-Lo's divorcing him, but
okay, or whatever. Yeah.
Who knows? This is pop culture talk with John and TJ. The Boys is not airing anymore, and we don't.
Did you
watch? Much to talk about.
Did you watch the new Batman cartoon?
I have not. It seems so. It seems to me that it's a little bit very much geared towards a child audience, and so I have stayed away from it. But am I wrong about that?
No, it's not. It's not geared toward a child audience. I'd say it's a tiny bit more mature theme than the old cartoon from the 90s. But it's also not nearly as good. It's not nearly as good.
Well, there you go. Ben watched the new Batman.
Ben, what'd you think?
Tell us if it's
yeah, because it was there was a lot of cool twists that they did that I enjoyed. There was like, so Harley Quinn, for example, they reversed her character in that not because she's Asian, that's not what I meant, but she's Asian, but that's not what I was talking about. But they reversed the character in that. So, like Dr. Harleen Quinzel is buttoned up and serious, and Harley Quinn is insane. But in this one, the doctor is really kooky and weird, and Harley Quinn is serious as fuck. And I kind of like that. I like that they did that. They mixed up Two-Face too, in that Two-Face's good side, like his Harvey Dent side was his aggressive side, and his like disfigured side was his like kind side. I thought that was a pretty clever twist on Two-Face. Mm-hmm. They made one change I didn't like is they made Penguin this lady with 2 kids.
I saw that, yeah, and that's one of the things that just turned me off about it. I was like, just the character design. I was just like, feels like a bad direction. It's how I felt about the Velma series.
Oh, I heard that was terrible.
It's god awful. I watched 10 minutes of it and I had to turn it off. And I don't say that about too many things, but it was god awful.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything good about that. But the Batman series is okay. It's not bad. It's not amazing. Like, and it was only 10 episodes, so it's honestly it's kind of hard to get into that. I wish it was like a good 25 episode season or something, but they're doing a second season, maybe it'll be better. But they some twists and stuff that I like, and some that I was like, I don't really get
the Batman cartoon I am watching is one that doesn't involve Batman and is Kite Man. Actually, really good. Actually, really, really good.
I bet it.
We got an echo.
I bet it is.
There, look at that! Look at that smooth transition.
I bet it. Hold on.
You were definitely like now, but you're coming through. Oh, there, it's getting better. We'll get there.
All right. How's that?
Much better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Kite Man. I remember watching the Harley Quinn show, and I liked Kite Man on there, but I haven't seen the follow-up season that they had. I knew they were making a show for him, but I hadn't seen what it was like. How is it?
It is hard. Like, if you like Harley Quinn, you'll like this. It's a little bit worse than Harley Quinn, a little bit lower production value, but you'll like it, But yeah, we are totally off the rails here, TJ. We are struggling. We've lost TJ's audio. He's just gone now.
Now I can't hear. I'm sorry, John. I fucked up this whole show. I'm just like trying to.
It's rough. John's dealing with stomach issues. TJ can't even get the computer working.
Just like
this is
perfect. There we go. All right, I hear you. Yeah. This thing, I didn't do a sacrifice to the Apple God, and this kind of happens when you don't pay reverence to the deities.
Yeah, you should have done it. Yeah, your audio and visual are disconnected now, but we'll.
Jesus Christ, really? Okay.
So, thank you guys, our dedicated viewers of the Left Wing. Thank you for struggling folks. With us through this. We will do better in the future.
I don't know what's going on now. Yeah, I don't know, but hey, we're trying. So, anything weird in the news you saw, John, other than the random shit we talked about?
So it's been a little bit of a weird news week, and I'm not even saying like weird news week. Like all of the news kind of happened before Labor Day, and there just hasn't been any news since then. So we're gonna have some like a little bit old topics. I feel like when we talk tomorrow, but I know we have the Twitter Brazil fiasco. Has been very interesting to hear people complain about. Do you think people actually care about that, TJ? Like,
I think
besides people on Twitter, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that Elon Musk fanboys are going to care about it, but I don't think your average person does. I don't see it being a huge, because like, who cares, honestly? Like this, because whenever Twitter has, blackouts like in India or Turkey or whatever, they don't make major news stories, but except for the Elon folks.
Yeah, and I think it's an indictment of, what Elon has done with Twitter, just that most of the time when there has been a big news story on Twitter, because it's all over the place on Twitter, obviously, usually that's reflective of what other media outlets have, and I've just seen like very little about it from everywhere else. It's just really a story on Twitter, and it's a big one on Twitter, but yeah, that's not a good sign for the platform.
I do have another Twitter story. I saw it right before I got on, and it was about Russian money going toward this this conservative media company. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, that was definitely going to be one of my picks to talk about tomorrow, but we can cover it a little bit here right now.
Yeah, geez, oh yeah, this is a new indictment alleges conservative media company took millions of dollars of Kremlin cash. Like I was reading about it right before I hopped on while I was trying to get my computer to load. And
I have not seen the specific names there. That's interesting. I just saw there was a general. Yeah. There is so much going on here, TJ. Like it is a massive thing that a lot of entities are connected to. I didn't realize there were mainstream Americans involved.
Yeah. There's what was really interesting to me is I saw what Tim Pool and Benny Johnson said about it. And there was, they seem to be taking this way more seriously than I would have guessed. I would have guessed that they would have done the standard conservative thing, like, this is just mainstream media nonsense. But no, Tim Pool released like a 3-paragraph statement for this. And
he's able to write that many words?
I'll pull it up actually right here. So, yeah, I was, once again, I was just sure it was going to be dismissed, because why would they take anything seriously? But he really thought that he and Benny Johnson, they used the word leak, which was interesting because they didn't say fabricated. They didn't say staged. They said it was leaked. This is what Tim Pool said. My statement regarding allegations in the leaked DOJ document. Should these allegations prove true, I, as well as the other personalities and commentators, were deceived and are victims. I cannot speak for anyone else at the company as to what they do or why they or what they were instructed. The Culture War podcast was licensed by Tenet Media. It existed well before any license agreement with Tenet, and it will continue to exist after any such expires. The only change with the agreement was that the location of the live broadcast moved to Tenet's YouTube channel. Never at any point did anyone other than I have full editorial control of the show, and the contents of the show are often apolitical. Examples include discussing spirituality, dating, and video games. The show is produced in its entirety by our local team without input from anyone to the company. TCW is a separate company, not associated with Timcast.com or other properties. It exists solely for the production of the Culture War podcast. That being said, we still do not know what is true, as these are only allegations. Putin is a scumbag. Russia sucks donkey balls. And to the journalists who wish to jump the gun, create their own narrative, or lie about what is currently going on, you can kiss my Irish ass. That man takes this stuff seriously. That is the most serious I have ever read a state. It doesn't it seems like it was like half written by a lawyer, because it was very precise in the language right there.
It was precise. I also, the line about it also talks about things like dating, not just politics. I was like, well, that sounds like something a liar would say. That sounds like someone trying to boost their word count, because how the fuck is that relevant to the allegations?
Yeah, right.
Sometimes we talk about dating, so the political stuff we talk about can't possibly be influenced by foreign actors.
I spent a full 41 minutes talking about the Super Bowl, so there's no way I was being, influenced by foreign actors on this. Yeah, that was pretty. I was just very surprised at how seriously he took this, which seems like it's going to be a big deal. So I think that could be a good one to talk about.
That is a good one to talk about, and to kind of just loop it back into what we were talking about earlier with Lex Friedman's podcast. So Lex Friedman asked Donald Trump about Project 2025.
Oh God, I saw that.
And Trump repeatedly said he had not read it, which I thought was a really interesting response, because I believe him. I 100% believe that Donald J. Trump did not read Project 2025. There is about a 0% chance in hell that Donald Trump read through all of those documents. Way too many pages for him. Does that mean that I think that he isn't involved, in implementing that policy? No, he totally is. But it's not that explicit. And I think the same thing is going on here. The Russians don't need to pay Tim Pool to help them. They need to make sure he's funded, but he's gonna do what they want on his own. Donald Trump is gonna kind of do what the actors of Project 25 want on his own. They just need to, make him feel good about doing the things that they want him to do. He doesn't need to be involved. There doesn't need to be an explicit quid pro quo. You know what I mean? It's a bad day, guys. Screw it. We've already this live stream already sucks. So we appreciate everyone who's watching. But there doesn't need to be these like explicit give and takes. I believe Tim Pool that he wasn't aware of any of this going on, because I don't think he needed to be in order to serve Russian interests. I think it's really as simple as that.
I mean, it could be. What about with Trump and Project 2025? What was funny about that to me is that Trump went down the same thing he's been saying for weeks now, that they talk about Project 25, something I've never heard of. I've never read it. I don't know what, but
there are some good things
and some bad things that I really disagree with, that no one ever asked him, okay, what are the things you disagree with? And of course, Lex Friedman didn't. But one thing he said that was different this time that I hadn't heard him say before is, I purposefully don't read it. He said, I don't want to read it. I don't want to see what's in there, which I've never heard him say before, that, I'm not reading it on purpose because I don't want to know. But however, he still knows there's good things and bad things in there, but he doesn't want to read it. Yeah, I don't know. Trump is
it's literally mob rules. It's just like, I didn't order the hit. I just had to take care of him.
Exactly. Yeah.
I meant take him out to dinner, man. I don't want to read the thing. Then I'm implicated. That's what he's saying. That is what he. And honestly, the answer shouldn't be that either way. He should read it. It would be if
it's the responsible thing to do.
It is the responsible thing to do. If you actively did not want project, you're you're being accused of executing this game plan. You can't say that you're not executing the game plan if you also say you haven't read the game plan, because how the fuck would you know?
Yeah.
That. It can't work both ways. Of course, it's always going to work both ways with Trump, because I do believe that he hasn't read it. I believe he understands why he shouldn't read it, and I believe he's going to do it anyway. But everything he said there, I do think is true.
Yeah. And Ben said what I was thinking too. No way Trump is reading 900 pages. Yeah, I think Project 2025 was a 905-page document. Come on, no, that's not happening. Trump isn't doing that. And
if they named it Project Trump, maybe he'd skim it.
Do you remember those stories? People from the White House staff would say that they had to condense all their briefs into one page with like graphs and stuff, so Trump would pay attention. Yeah, Trump's not reading that shit. It's just interesting because this so like with this Russia thing, and so you're saying like Project 2025. He doesn't need to read it. They just know he already is ideologically aligned with them.
Yes.
So that's what people have been saying about Clarence Thomas, that, these Harlan Crow paying all this money to Clarence Thomas, it doesn't matter because Clarence Thomas would have voted that way whether Harlan Crow paid him that money or not. Like, you could look at every case and how he ruled, he's done the same way for 40 years now. Like, why would money 3 years ago from a billionaire change his mind? And it's true. I got to admit it is true, but it's still bribery, right? That's kind of how I look at it,
Yeah, I mean, so with Clarence Thomas specifically, it's hard to tell because you don't know the chicken or the egg. Like, you don't know if he was ideologically aligned, which attracted people like Harlan Crow to keep him happy, or did he become ideologically aligned because he saw the opportunity for people like Harlan Crow to keep him happy? So I don't know.
So you're saying like we don't know what like 25-year-old lawyer Clarence Thomas was, because he's been this way since he's been in the Supreme Court.
That's what I'm saying. Supreme Court. So there's two ways it can go down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can have someone, like say you're on the Supreme Court, and you are ideologically already someone who would want to benefit the capitalist class. That would inherently attract, hyper rich capitalists to just make sure you're happy. Hey, we want to reward good behavior. We want to set an example for other people. Hey, these are the guys that get to hang out on the yacht. That it would work that way. It could also be that he was, just ideologically predisposed to potentially go down that road, and he saw which pathway would, butter his bread, and he went down that path, which is a little bit more explicit bribery. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. He's acting in the interests of these people who are also giving him money. Right. Whether that is actually affecting his decision making is a second order outcome of, could it be affecting his decision making? And as long as we can perceive that it could be, it shouldn't be something that is happening. And that's where the buck stops for me. I mean, we can speculate as to what's going on in this man's mind all we want, but it really doesn't matter. Like these are in a way redundancies. Like we just shouldn't allow this, because even the implication that it could be impacting his decision making threatens the legitimacy of the court. And you can't have that with the Supreme Court. You just can't.
We can't delegitimize the Supreme Court. We couldn't do a thing like that. We couldn't. It's
not forbid.
Yeah. What makes sense to me? Like, one theory that does make sense to Clarence Thomas is, because I think he's always been this way. I mean, he was appointed by Republicans. Republicans have loved him his entire life. I think he would have ruled this way if he hadn't gotten a dime. The money may have been to keep him on the seat, on the bench. Because Clarence Thomas does not seem to enjoy being a Supreme Court justice. Like, he does not. Like, when you hear him talk about it, he's never like, oh, I love going into work and putting on the black robe. And he's like 75 or something. He probably wants to quit every day. So maybe that money is like, hey, stick around, man. We'll get a Republican eventually. And like, that would make sense to me. It make to bribe him to not leave. Because go ahead.
No, finish your thought.
Because like with Clarence Thomas, I don't see him like a lead. Like Alito, I don't think would quit under a Democratic president. Like Alito, or doesn't seem like that type of guy. Clarence Thomas is like, fuck you, I'm gone. I can see him doing that. So maybe like some bribes over the years to keep him on the bench. That wild theory, but it makes sense to me.
That is a great theory, because Alito is definitely in it for the love of the game.
Yes, yeah.
Clarence Thomas, I mean, honestly, he's just the character from The Office the bald black guy that just constantly hates his job and is just openly like out there about it. You know what I'm talking about?
I watched The Office,
Yeah,
so no.
I'm forgetting his name, but like it's just like he's constantly miserable. He looks constantly miserable. He doesn't care that you know that he's miserable.
Yeah.
It's just how he is. I can't even imagine what he's like on that yacht. Like, do you think he's out there on a jet ski?
know.
Like, woohoo! Like, can
Right?
you imagine Clarence Thomas like smiling and having
Yeah. I can't imagine Clarence Thomas having fun. Well, you know what? I just thought of a character to relate him to. Like the easy. Did you ever watch the Boondocks? Did you ever see that cartoon?
I've seen episodes.
So the easy comparison is Uncle Ruckus, the black guy who hates black people, but that's too simple. There's another character, it's fantastic, called Stinkmeaner. And Stinkmeaner is an old blind black man who just hates everything about life, and he's always miserable. That's who Clarence Thomas is. Just someone who he's staying alive just out of spite. Yeah, Ben thought of Uncle Ruckus, but yeah, Ben, that's the easy answer. That's the easy one to go with Uncle Ruckus. But yeah, the whole Stinkmeaner is pretty great. You should watch that episode, John. The Stinkmeaner episode is pretty good. But yeah, he's just like hates life and hates everybody else. But that was a good point. I cannot imagine him. I don't think I've ever seen him smile. I don't think I've ever seen the man smile one time.
No, me neither. And to be fair, you don't often see Supreme Court justices smiling. But Clarence Thomas takes to a different level.
You see them smiling in their official photos. So like that official photo where they're all standing there, all 9 of them, a lot of them smile. I don't think I've seen Clarence Thomas do it once. So yeah, I don't know. Ben says he was Stinkmeaner all along. That's what Ben knows what I'm talking about. Stinkmeaner's such a funny character, man. It's great. I love me some Boondocks. Boondocks this is unironically saying as like what boomers and shit say. That show couldn't be made today. Yeah, it couldn't, but it's great. It's great. It's fantastic. It's a lot of shit hasn't aged too well, but it's pretty funny.
I just don't. I've never gotten along with the Adult Swim style of humor. With the exception of Rick and Morty, which I do enjoy, I've never really latched onto an Adult Swim show. It's just not my cup of tea. But I do, when I see like certain clips, I'm like, oh damn, that's funny. But when I like sit down and watch the whole show as a cohesive unit, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? But no problems with it. So yeah, what else you want to talk about, TJ?
I just
want to point out, TJ, we have 6 viewers right now, and to our 6 viewers,
incredible.
I just want to say we appreciate you because
this
is probably the worst show that we've ever.
Yeah, look, man. Yeah, like sometimes the gods just strike you. I want to cover one more thing. So, do you know who Benny Johnson is? He was one of the names on that list.
You mentioned him, Benny Johnson. Like he was in there. I definitely know that name. Which one is he?
He's a minor league conservative commentator. I think he works for Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. I think, but he looks like a fucking nerd. He's just he's like a. He looks like the kid that would get beat up in 80s movies and shoved into a locker or whatever. And doesn't he? Yep. And so he's look, God, I'm trying to find a polite way to say this. He's the least heterosexual looking conservative I can think of right now with Benny Johnson. So it's just funny how they really push this old he was talking at the women's conference about being a masculine man. Like, buddy, come on, you're the guy they sent out here for this. But he's kind of like a jokester too. Like he doesn't take himself too seriously, but he spreads just fascist rhetoric all the time. And I wanted to show his statement because it interested me as well, coming from a guy like him, where he said, a statement on the leaked DOJ indictment today. A year ago, a media startup pitched my company to provide content as an independent contractor. Our lawyers negotiated a standard arm's length deal, which was later terminated. We are disturbed by the allegations in today's indictment, which make clear that myself and other influencers were victims in this alleged scheme. My lawyers will handle anyone who states or suggests otherwise. That, like, if you're not familiar with Benny Johnson, that sounds nothing like him. Like, nothing like him at all. He's always like a prankster and a jokester. But these conservatives are taking this. Dave Rubin's on that list too. It's like, who wasn't always a conservative. So that makes me think that, yeah, the money was definitely a big deal there. I just read about it earlier today. This is fascinating. I'd love to talk about this later.
It's also like, because you're right. Usually the the MO for these guys is they're accused of something.
Yep.
They deny they did it. And then they say, but even if I did, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yep.
Like that is usually how they respond to allegations. And it is interesting. They are totally going the strong arm route, which, by the way, only makes you look guiltier. Like if TJ, if I'm ever accused of anything and my knee-jerk reaction is you will hear from my attorneys,
Yep.
I guarantee you I did that fucking thing. That is so obviously clear a guilty person move.
Yeah.
And also saying the repeated line that they are victims here is also interesting.
That is right. What
That's
does
a
that
weird
even
thing
mean?
to say. They never say that out loud. They never say they're victims. It is a sign of weakness. And the fact that it is a coordinated use of that term between the two of them, that there's smoke. And again, I'm actually inclined to believe that them as individuals did not have knowledge of this. I'm inclined to believe them. But damn, is there a lot of smoke there? They're not helping their cases with those statements.
Right? It's because let's give them the total benefit of the doubt here. This is just all right. This is where like you have to do common sense shit and everything. You've seen Tim Pool, right? You've seen his clips and everything. He's one of the highest paid political commentators in the country, and you had to stop wondering why. Like how is Tim Pool
this guy
right? Like how is this happening? Like
Ben Shapiro, I get it.
Ben Shapiro, I get. Yeah. Tim fucking Pool? Are you kidding me? And then you see the takes he comes out with, and they're just like the most. I'll watch clips with Tim Pool, and this is literally what he does. His entire show is pulling up articles from like Daily Beast or whatever that have these sensational headlines. And he's like, oh, look at this. This is crazy. And then he reads through the article and says, well, that doesn't make sense because of this. And the next paragraph, it tells why what he said was ridiculous. Oh, okay. He doesn't even read the articles. He just reads them live on air and live reacts to them. I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy doesn't put any work into this, and he's not super entertaining. So I gotta say, if I was just a mediocre broadcaster and I'm making, $100 million, I was like, that's kind of weird, right? Kind of odd. What's going on there? It's on you if you couldn't catch why that was suspicious, Tim Pool.
Yeah, that's a great point that you make because I'm comparing him to other people, right? Like,
right.
Compare him to Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder puts in a lot of fucking effort. You can't knock the man's effort.
Look, it's hard to be that racist. You got to burn a lot of calories to be as racist as Steven Crowder. That's true.
You do. He does bits like he does, whatever. Like he also had a lot of like viral fucking internet fame, like mega viral that like
there are memes based off of him.
Exactly. Shapiro, he's got the talent. He's hired great people under him as well, and by great people I mean good at their jobs, not great people. I think, for example, I think Michael Knowles is excellent at finding the way towards something.
He does. It's great.
Matt Walsh is the king of it, but Michael Knowles is also very good. Where like they're so good at the clickbait, and then standing on that business, like they're very good at it. And I can't disrespect them. Tim Pool sucks. Tim Pool genuinely sucks. He's not entertaining. Like he doesn't come up. I can't think of a Tim Pool take off the top of my head. I cannot think of a single take Tim Pool has ever had. It's just weird. You have a great point. He does not deserve that kind of money.
There's one that I'll probably bring up tomorrow, but it's a clip of him talking about Ukraine, and he says Ukraine is the greatest threat to American safety and world safety, and we owe Russia an apology. It's like, oh, okay. I think it's pretty safe to say Tim Pool actually is kind of a Russian asset here. But this is a great point, actually, because if we think of that list that we had Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Lauren Southern, and Benny Johnson, 4 of the least talented people on the right I can think of. Just awful. Like, you ever watch Dave Rubin clips? He's the dumb. Dave Rubin is the dumbest one by far. So it makes sense that they're the ones being propped up by this. But you mentioned about what's his name, Michael Knowles, and how he's an expert agent provocateur, but he's like a close second to Matt Walsh. There's a great Matt Walsh thread I saw yesterday. I was texting it to my friends and everything. But you've seen the raw milk trend that's been going on, right? With right-wingers saying you should drink raw milk. So Matt Walsh apparently...
Hold on, TJ. But before we move on to this, I just have to say something. when did Tim Pool? Do you know when Tim Pool made that statement about Russia?
Let's
about
see.
Ukraine. Because
I don't know the date.
Because I think this could like prove my point right or wrong here. Because Tenet like did the deal with him in 2023.
Oh, it had been. Yeah, that could have been.
And so was it before or after he said that?
I'll find the clip. I'll have it right tomorrow. See, I see the video, but I don't see when it was posted by Tim Pool. Tim Pool pounds the table and yells, "Ukraine is the enemy."
I don't know. We have to put together a timeline.
Yeah, we're gonna go hold the Zapruder film on this.
Because here's the thing, TJ. There was a moment, and I don't know off the top of my head when this was. Like I didn't like mark it down, but I did notice, and I'm sure you did too. There was for a while, there was normal bipartisan support for Ukraine, and then suddenly, it seemed over the course of a month, this became a partisan issue.
Yeah.
And I wonder how closely these specific media companies making deals with people are tied to that flip, and it's probably pretty easy to find out.
The same thing happened with George Floyd, if you remember. I remember all the conservative outlets said, "Well, clearly this cop went too far," and within a matter of days they changed their mind. This is the clip right here. I'm pretty sure.
They know it, but I don't know.
Is that playing?
Anymore. This is
Turn it up.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine.
Or mute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
They know it. But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
Wait a second. He clearly read that. like, am I wrong here? He clearly looks down and read it like it was a fucking sponsor.
I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine
extemporaneously here. This is like he's not reading, and then at the end when he's like, "We need to do this specific policy," that was read like a fucking ad read.
Nation and to the world. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
He read that. Like he read that statement, TJ.
Yo, that's a good observation. It did seem like he read that
As
last
someone
part.
who does this, I know when someone's reading versus speaking from the heart. That was reading.
I can't get over the over-exaggerated Ukraine is the enemy of this nation. I was like, okay, buddy, okay, calm down, Nikita Khrushchev. What's going on here, man? That was I don't know when that was posted on Reddit, I think like a week ago or something. It was posted 2 hours ago, but yeah, I think that's only like a few days or a week old or something like that. So, but I don't know when it came out because it could have been any time. Yeah. But this is gonna be fun. That'll be fun to look into.
We're gonna talk about this more tomorrow. We have 8 fucking viewers right now. The show has gotten better.
I can't, but yeah, you're right. We got.
What? 9 viewers. Holy shit, guys! We appreciate you. You are giving us support during one of our lowest moments.
We snatch victory from the jaws of defeat because that's what winners fucking do, John. That's what we do. And so I wanted to share this too because this can't fit as a topic, but it's just really fun that Matt Walsh is, like I was saying, he's the best when it comes to agitating folks. And you've seen the raw milk phase that's been a craze that's been going on this last at least year and a half, 2 years. I think I've seen right-wing influencers saying that we should drink raw milk, we should go back to the ancestors and stuff like that. Just truly psychotic shit. Matt Walsh has noticed this too. And he shared this image yesterday, I think. And this picture, it shows this guy's talking about there's 15 different raw milk options available on the shelf at his store a block away. These raw milk options cost like $20 a gallon because raw milk goes bad in like 15 minutes. So they got to, and it's dangerous to drink, obviously. So Matt Walsh has been seeing this, and he posted, "Raw milk is disgusting. We live in a first world civilized society, and people are actively choosing to consume milk riddled with E. coli and listeria. Pasteurization is not some evil sorcery. It just kills dangerous bacteria, you morons." Rare W take from Matt Walsh. His followers did not like it. His followers flamed him. He spent the entire day arguing with conservatives, telling them, listen, raw milk is bad for you. You shouldn't be drinking this poison milk. And they were just, there was a really funny comment that someone left him and said, well, listen, if raw milk is so bad, how come baby cows drink it and they're just fine? And Matt Walsh said, that's like asking why you can't eat raw poultry because coyotes eat raw poultry. What is wrong with you? It was a really good comeback, but he has, I got to find him and send him to you. There's like 8 or 10 responses he had just flaming these folks, and they were pissed. They were not happy. I don't think he expected how dumb his audience was. Like, he's like, oh, wow, it's really worse than I thought.
Matt Walsh, similar to Ben Shapiro, isn't dumb.
Yeah.
Matt Walsh is, I'm not going to call him fucking Einstein here, but he isn't someone who just failed their way upwards like Tim Pool and just happened to attract. Because here's the thing, like Tim Pool attracts people. Like Tim Pool is your older brother's friend who sells drugs that like gives you attention because he doesn't have any friends his own age, but you think he's the coolest person, so he like lets you hang around him. That's Tim Pool. That's his audience. That's who he attracts. Steven Crowder, he's obviously the fucking divorced alpha male man. Like that's he's got that market down to a T. Fucking Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro is the dumb person's idea of a smart person. Again, Ben Shapiro is a relatively smart person, but like that's his crowd. Matt Walsh doesn't have that. All Matt Walsh has is an uncanny fucking ability to say things exactly the right way to attract as many people on his side as possible and piss off as many people on the other side as possible. That is Matt Walsh's cup of tea. And what he saw here was his side. He tried to police his side a little bit. He was like, this is too dumb, guys. Because Matt Walsh wants to be taken seriously. Matt Walsh wants like fucking is this a woman or whatever his documentary was. Like he views that as a documentary fucking film, and he doesn't want to be the guy whose audience is saying, hey guys, we need to drink raw milk because that's obviously dumb. And so he tried to police his side a little bit. He thought that most people would agree with him. I've been here, Matt, when you try and police your side and you think everyone's going to be okay with it, and then you just get eaten alive. We've all been there. Post through it. It'll go away eventually. But you are people shouldn't drink raw milk.
Sorry. Can you even hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I know you.
That's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm just saying that's right.
I tried. You got to bring the show home, John. I can't hear you, so you got to. So sorry.
Oh, okay. So we have lost TJ, and unfortunately, this is the part of the show where we're supposed to discuss what topics that we're going to talk about tomorrow, and TJ cannot hear it. So, TJ, I'm writing in the chat right now. We can hear you. What topics do you want to talk about tomorrow? And I managed to post.
Okay, yeah. So I want to talk about the we mentioned the Matt Walsh thing, but the Twitter thing with Tim Pool and all of them. Also, Elon Musk, he retweeted something that Tucker Carlson did. Tucker Carlson did an interview with a Nazi, like with a Hitler apologist. I don't know if you guys saw. Yeah. So I want to talk. Oh, you got that one too. Yeah, that's the one I want to talk about. That's gonna be pretty good as well. So I like that.
Guys, our live stream is going to get so banned tomorrow. So I will I will post what I want to talk about in the chat.
And the school shooting in Georgia. I don't know if you saw that. That happened. There was 4 people killed in a school shooting in Georgia. I thought we could cover that. So those are the 2 I wanted.
Okay, and I want to do a preview of the debate.
I have no idea why I still can't hear. I should be able to.
I don't know either.
Strange. This is very strange.
And yeah, we'll me and TJ will talk about this a little
debate
bit later,
preview. That's right.
Debate preview. So we're going to do a debate preview because we're going to be live streaming with Nick Powers again during the debate. So make sure to come here for the debate. And tomorrow we'll do a preview of it. We'll also talk about the Tucker Carlson Hitler apologist and this brand new Russiagate. And we'll probably get a 4th topic in there, maybe the Georgia shooting. But thank you guys very much for being here. Again, this was the worst technical show we've ever produced. We very much appreciate your support. We will be back tomorrow at 6:30, hopefully with a better show for you. Thank you so much, and goodbye.